Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be looking at games releasing from the 7th of January up until the 13th, and we'll look at any games first that may have released without being in one of these videos for whatever reason, before of course moving on to the week at hand. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. So there's just one game already out that I'm going to mention, and that's a game called Alphalink, which according to the blurb pits players against each other in a dystopian intergalactic arena multiplayer battle to shift the tides in the war of factions. What that looks to equate to is arena based battling with local or online play with up to 4 players, where you choose your faction and look to win battles in order to earn XP and credits to upgrade your weapons and armour. It says there are multiple game modes, faction stand-ins and leaderboards, and a hub area where you can engage with NPCs to learn the lore of the universe. It costs £13.50 or your regional equivalent. Let's move on to the games coming out this week, and the first is Scrap Riders, and this describes itself as an adventure game which meets point and click and beat 'em up, which is certainly an interesting combination, and it is also set in a cyberpunk universe. You play as a member of the outlaw bike gang called the Scrap Riders and must fight your way through the wasteland, eliminating rival gangs and corrupt police officers to accomplish the missions that will earn you greater street cred. It promises a rich story, character progression, puzzles to solve and beat 'em up action fused with investigation and adventure. It releases on the 9th and it's going to cost £17.99. Then we have Children of Silentown, and this is a point and click adventure based around a young girl called Lucy, who is afraid of the forest amidst people disappearing mysteriously from her village. You'll need to explore the town and the dangerous surroundings to get to the bottom of what is haunting Silentown. The blurb states that this is a unique, unsettling and dark tale where music plays a crucial role, and learning how to sing will help Lucy out in times of need. You'll be combining items, playing minigames and solving puzzles along the way, and this also costs £17.99 when it releases on the 11th. Also this week we have Lone Ruin, which is a roguelike twin stick shooter. It says here that the focus is on replayability and you play as an explorer who seeks an ancient power in a ruined magical city. You'll be fighting your way through blood pumping battles and a host of enemies and bosses in several distinct and vibrant areas. You'll need to choose spells that best fit your playstyle. There will be upgrades as you play, and there is also a survival mode which offers more of a timed, wave-based challenge than that of the usual game mode. This releases on the 12th and it will cost £12.99 or your regional equivalent. The next released is Breakers Collection, which includes 2 games, being Breakers and its sequel Breakers Revenge. These fighting games, developed by Visco Corporation, first released on the Neo Geo and arcades in 96 and 98 respectively, and now include online lobbies with a rollback netcode being used. They are quite similar to other Neo Geo fighters of the era, such as the Fatal Fury series, and they have that similar chunky pixel art style, although I did read that the characters took inspiration from Street Fighter 2. These aren't fighting games that I'm particularly familiar with, I must say, so I'm quite intrigued to see how they play. These are out on the 12th and the collection will cost £17.99. Then we have Vengeful Guardian Moonrider, which is a side-scrolling action platformer which has taken inspiration from some of the 16-bit classics of the genre. Conceived as a tool to preserve a totalitarian state, the Moonrider ninja warrior instead rejects its intended purpose and wages a relentless battle for vengeance. It was created by Joy Masher, the studio behind Onikin, Odalus and Blazing Chrome, 3 very good games that are also available on the Switch, and it very much reminds me visually of the game Hagane, which was on the Super Nintendo and is very expensive to buy these days. I think it was a Blockbuster Video exclusive release or something like that. Anyway, this is another game out on the 12th and it will cost £13.99 or your regional equivalent. Next is Chasing Static, which is described as a psychological horror experience. It says it's inspired by 1980s sci-fi horror as well as contemporary surrealist cinema and is set in a rural village in Wales where residents are going missing. Gameplay centres around sonic exploration with an audio-driven mechanic which has you hunting anomalies with what's called an experimental high-frequency displacement monitoring device, that was a mouthful, and you can explore the world at your own pace, uncovering its secrets in any order you please. It has a low poly art style and full voice acting, and it will cost you £14.99.
I'm fine, man. We're both fine. If anyone can hear us, we made it to the...
The next release is Drago Noka, which tasks you with creating an entire village atop a gigantic dragon. You'll be recruiting new villagers with various skill sets and personalities. You can take on different jobs such as blacksmithing, farming, fishing and cooking, and potentially start a family, but there is also a battling element as your dragon is not the only one in the world and you may find yourself up against fire and ice dragons as you play. I am very intrigued by this one, sounds like it has that Rune Factory style to it, and I do really like the zoomed out perspective, even if I'm not completely in love with the overall aesthetic. It will cost £17.59 or your regional equivalent, and this one is also out on the 12th. The penultimate game for the week is Go Rally, a top-down rally racer with a career mode where you'll need to work your way up from rookie to master. There are a number of rally vehicles to choose from, ranging from muscle cars to SUVs according to the blurb, and you can customise them as you go. It includes over 100 tracks from around the world with deserts, Arctic snowscapes, forests and outback landscapes all featured. There seems to be a bit of a theme this week with games costing £17.99, and this one follows that trend and it releases on the 13th. And finally for the week there is Memorrha. Here you are on a voyage of discovery following the traces of a mysterious culture. It goes on to say that you'll discover diverse landscapes, investigate abandoned artifacts and wake strange machines from their slumber with hundreds of tricky logic and environmental puzzles to solve. The synopsis doesn't give a huge amount away, but the trailer certainly shows a vibrant world, so it'll be interesting to find out more. Oh, and guess what? This one costs £17.99 and it is out on the 13th.
Find the answers.
So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. There were a couple of other games that I was going to put in the list, but at the time of making this at least, they were only showing as releasing in 1 or 2 regions rather than across the board, so perhaps I'll put them in next week. Just to give them a name check though, you had Dragon Fury, a nice looking one-on-one fighter, and a game called Dusk 82, which is actually a demake, if you like, a prequel to the Dusk first-person shooter. This time looking like a top-down adventure game, similar visually to something like Gauntlet, but having perhaps more of a puzzle element to it. I'll put those in next week's video when they're more widely available. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick these games up, or any others for that matter, you can use our website to get your eShop cards, switchup.gg, and if you use the code SwitchUp you can save yourself 10% off of your order. Talking of saving a bit of money, if you want to import any games, you can use our link to Play Asia, and you can get yourself 5% off of an order from there by using our code. Link is down below, as is the code of course. Put those in and you'll get yourself that saving. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. I hope 2023 is treating you well so far. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.